Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? It's Thursday today. It is December 30th. And Leather Bag Lady weather report. And it's kind of a Glasgow day out there today. It's mild, but it's very wet and damp and all that jazz. So there you go. Nobody's out enjoying the weather today, I don't think. People are out and about getting their selves ready for Hogmanay, as we say in Scotland. Scotland is actually, New Year is, I think, a bit more of a bigger deal than Christmas is in Scotland. We enjoy our drinks in Scotland, so the majority anyway. So New Year is very much is very much the celebration. So everybody's out. I was in Walmart earlier getting some Christmas shopping done because I have finished my 10 days of being isolated, because I did do a rapid test back the week before Christmas and it did come up positive. However, the rapid tests are not reliable. The positive result is more reliable than the negative result. Bruce tested negative but was positive, and I tested positive, and I still don't have my results back from my PCR test, but I'm almost positive that I was positive. So I've done my 10 days, which apparently now doesn't need to be 10 days. Now it only needs to be 5 days. So whatever. I'm at a COVID jail and probably gonna continue to hang out on my own. Nobody's rushing to spend time with me because, 10 days, 12 days, 5 days, 7 days, until it's a couple of 3 weeks ago, people are still going to be a little bit nervous, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. So anyway, yesterday I didn't do a video. The day kind of got away from me yesterday. So I'm going to include the bag, or it's not actually a bag. I listed a fanny pack yesterday. A Roots fanny pack. I love, well, if you follow me, I love everything Roots. But what I like about this particular one is I like that it uses the mahogany brown kind of saddle leather as well as the black pebble leather. I like that it has the little side wings. There's no pockets in those wings. And I like the fact that it has a buckle rather than one of those little plastic snap things. Now, this is very difficult to measure. So what I've done in the listing is I've measured it from the first hole to here, and I believe that's 24 inches. And I've listed this hole to the buckle, which I think is 9. And then I believe this is 9 inches as well. So that all being told, it's very difficult to kind of get these accurate. I mean, the inches is the inches. I'm not saying a word. I'm not rude. I'm not saying a word. But there you go. And it's all raw leather inside, which I love. You know that. So there you go. So that's yesterday's Roots fanny pack. Today's bag is a fabulous bag. This is my style of bag. Very simple, very easy to use. This is by a Canadian company called Fertfirst. If I didn't know that, I would have put money on it being a denier. It looks very similar to denier. The quality is very similar to vintage denier. It's a lovely, lovely bag. Nice silver tone hardware here. Nothing on the back. And then just a very wide opening with a slip pocket. And there's your Fertfirst. I really like that the straps are a thinner leather at the top, and then it widens as it goes down. I have no shoulders, and this is very comfortable for me to wear. Anything with a large strap just slips off my shoulder even more easily than this kind of style. Nice gusset on the bottom. It's going to sit nicely. It's going to open up. You're not going to be going digging too far for all your stuff because you can see it very readily. It has a little bit of a pouch here. So I've listed this kind of before 2002, so probably mid to late 90s, I would say. But a great bag. This bag style is called a baguette. And just because it's kind of an elongated, that's what they call it, a baguette. So there you go. That's today's bag. Really, really like it. It's in excellent condition. No wear that I can see inside or out. It looks like it's never even been used. So there we go. So I hope you're all doing well. Getting ready for New Year. New Year is a real kind of Scottish holiday. And being born in Scotland and raised predominantly in the UK and here in Canada, or in England and here in Canada, didn't really get to have too many traditional hogmanay Scottish New Year's. My parents were not drinkers, so we did not have, you know, kind of whoop it up New Year parties at all. I seem to remember one when I was very little and my dad puked because he ate a whole bowl of peanuts. I think that's how it went. We were at my Auntie Anna's room and kitchen for New Year's Eve party. I can remember it because my dad, I remember my mom saying to my dad, you know, slow down on those peanuts. And no, he didn't. And that was the end of that one. So anyway, history piece today. We're kind of hovering around kind of the start of the Industrial Revolution, which is where we're kind of sitting with the materials that are available to start making bags of interest. So back 16th century, 17th, 1800s, it was a lot of wicker, carpet bags, and then the J.H. Cave started with the trunks, the leather trunks and travel bags. With the Industrial Revolution, materials became abundant, but then during the 40s with the Second World War, materials then became quite scarce. So materials such as raffia, handmade yarn, that's where the macrame or macrame, wherever, I think it's macrame here, and in England they call it macrame. Actually, I was watching a YouTube video the other day about Etsy. I signed up for a webinar the other day, and it became very apparent to me, I think I've mentioned this already, that selling handmade goods and selling vintage goods on Etsy are two completely different experiences. And I'm going to do a couple of videos, I think, just from my own personal experience of selling the vintage bags. And I watched this video from England, and they call it Etsy, just like they call IKEA. And I couldn't watch it. It was just so aggravating. This girl kept calling it Etsy. Anyway, whatever. I digress, as I usually do. So materials became difficult to find. And one of the main materials they moved to, apart from the cording and the wicker, was plastic, and namely Bakelite. So this bag here is actually a bag that one of my customers has just purchased, so I haven't parceled it off to you yet, Rini. This is a DKNY. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful 80s bag. I'm not 100% sure that this is Bakelite. It's even on the zipper pull here. It is. Rini, you've got some cool ass taste, lady, because you and I love this bag. There's not many bags on my site that I'm dreaming about these days because you've bought them all. But this is just an example of what I think is Bakelite. And then this I actually do believe is Bakelite. So this is an example of, you know, kind of a 30s, 40s, 50s bag, which was, it's plastic. Isn't that incredible? Now it's got a big crack on the back, but I didn't care. And it's got this kind of variegated, kind of swirly, just for the sheer history of it. Look at the tic-tac-toe kind of pattern. So this is all bag, pieces of bag history. And then I've already showed you, oh, I don't want to break it. There we go. And I've already showed you this one, which is, I believe, a 40s hand-tooled bag with, starting with this very ornate, elaborate, now how do you open this thing? Now how do you open it? There's a, oh, there we go. You spin this around and you flick it up and it opens up. And this is beautiful green suede. There's the pocket mirror is still here. The little change purse is still here. Now, I was told that this isn't authentic. I'm sorry, but I feel that it is. I've done enough research for this style of bag that I've come across this many, many times. It's got all the trademarks on it. It's just in too good a condition, I was told. But you know what? If somebody put this in their closet, I've shown you the vintage 50s. I'll show you again just quickly. These vintage 50 suitcases that I have here. Now, I actually bought 3 of those. It's called a trousseau, off a lady whose mother had passed, and they were her they were given to her as an engagement present. And she said the only time the bags were used were for her mother's honeymoon. And they weren't stored in a basement. They weren't stored in a garage. They were stored in a bedroom. So there's no muss, no mold, no damp, no nothing. They are in beautiful condition. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've 6 of them stacked, full of wallets, as I've showed you or shared with you already. But I just love this vintage-esque element in with more modern day, you know, whatever. So that's just a little bit of an idea of the materials that were being used to make bags. With men, with the railway, travel started to become more widespread. Gentlemen were not just going away for short periods of time. They were going away for longer periods of time and needed more luggage pieces. And as I said, their travel companions, which was usually their mistresses, needed travel pieces as well. So, so we start to get into the luxury goods, the luxury brands, which is where I'm maybe going to jump off and we'll start to talk about our Louis Vuittons and, you know, some of the like Hermes, which started as a saddler and all that kind of stuff. And alux.com is the channel that I've been using to get most of that information. They have an excellent YouTube channel. It has history pieces on any designer brand that you can think of. I would check it out. It's just interesting. Not last year, the year before, I spent a month or so just watching YouTube videos and making notes. So that's where I will be getting most of my information from this point forward. And I think that is it from me today. Still a little stuffed up, but I think it's just because everything's starting to come loose now. And yeah, that is that. So those are the bags. Hope you're having a great rest of the day. And I will talk to you tomorrow, being New Year's Eve. And yeah, till then, we'll see you. Bye.